Well, things are still 23 degrees sideways. So, I tried to do this video out in the back of the pasture, but I live in an area in the high desert where there's a lot of wind all the time. So instead of my normal laptop below the camera or something, I have printed paper, so I'm going to have to look at my notes as I speak. Alright, I was recently accused, this was the gun video again, of making an emotional argument that wasn't valid because there was emotion involved. So the dude was wrong. I was making a magical argument primarily, not an emotional one. But let's deal with emotion first. So emotions are one of the keys to your reality. Emotions inform your reality. Emotions to some extent create or enliven your reality. Emotions are very key to your experiences, to your reality, to everyone's reality, and to shared realities to some extent. There's this idea that somehow removing emotions, removing humanity, operating with an arbitrary set of logical and debate rules has more reality than your direct, personal, and necessarily emotional experience. And that's wrong. Yes, learning analysis tools and how to dispassionately examine your experiences and your emotions, how to evaluate things dispassionately, will help you, well, evaluate your reality and gain control over things, your emotions, your reality, so that you can change reality. But that's not reality. The tools are not reality. The world is a magical and enchanted place, but you can lose that in the weeds of dispassion, of overanalysis, of removing emotion, of removing emotional content, moral value. You can assume emotions aren't real and lose the enchantedness, and lose a perspective on reality, and lose actual reality. Okay? Emotions are real, and they do inform reality. So let's talk about magic for a minute. In making my argument, and this was again the Guns for People Not Cops video, I was acting on magic. I was quite deliberately making a magical argument. So, what is magic? That's very complicated, and we're probably going to have to inch our way to an effective definition one video at a time, the way we are doing with Red Lines and with Stumbling Towards Utopia, the other video series, which you may not have seen yet. So the simplest and broadest definition of magic is also the least useful. And that is, magic is force of will creating a change in the universe. So, strictly speaking, if I consciously, with effort, with attention, with my will, cause this wrench to move above my head with my hand, that's an act of magic. If I do it without my hand, that was still with my hand. It's an act of magic. But you can see where this is not terribly useful, because this becomes the kind of, if everything is magic, nothing is magic sort of thing. If everyone is super, no one is super. And I don't think that really works. So we're gonna work on some other concepts. In this particular case, I think that you can think of magic in my videos as initiating a change, spreading a change, or cracking the shell of consensus reality in the collective unconscious, or the collective consciousness. That requires being a bit Jungian, but it's an adequate map. I need to shock the system. I need to wake people up, including myself. I need to challenge ideas that become identities. Now, I made a core magical argument, and that has nearly as much reality as an emotional position, and both of them have as much or more reality for the individual, for the group, as the concept of a mythological objective reality. So, objective reality is consensus reality, especially when you're dealing with human factors, human value, human positional debates, okay? And consensus is bullying, okay? Consensus is tyranny. Now, I don't say that lightly. I have been trained in consensus decision-making. I have been trained in consensus meeting management, handling. And I have participated for several years in consensus-operated activities, such as the Whole Earth Festival in Davis, where I was on staff for more than half a decade and where I was the co-director of logistics, herding hippies, for a couple of years. And these things operated on consensus. And what consensus means in a committee or any decision-making process is the person with the biggest click or the biggest emotional investment or the greatest skill in manipulation and bullying gets their way. That's it. That's what you get. Okay, consensus decision-making is one, not the, but one ultimate expression of anti-individualism through tyranny, by recruiting the group to enforce and enact and create that tyranny against the individual. Try to understand the notion of consensus reality in these terms. Consensus reality means you're supposed to get rid of your emotions in favor of the consensus of someone else's emotions, because there will always be an emotional component. It's bullying. It's tyranny. So what people who worship at the altar of scientism usually try to refer to as objective reality in conversation about human factors, beliefs, morals, actions, or positions, well, consensus reality is anti-individualistic tyranny. I made a core Magickal argument against a consensus reality and set of identities that is broadly evil, prohibitive, degrading to the human condition, and degrading to the human conditions of our planet-wide games. A lot of people don't seem to like that, and that's fine with me. So, have a good one.